Yeah, a lot went on this morning, but that's usually how it goes with me. Why does it take me so long to get to my divorce? Because that's part of being a tuxedo, part of the case. Like, there's the wedding dress and then there's the tuxedo. What ends up happening is the person that's forcing the divorce is usually pushing and pushing and pushing. And it ends up showing in a divorce case, and especially when it shows up in a bankruptcy. Having learned very well and listened very well to the second marriage going down the tubes as it did, you know, I'm not a stupid woman, and I definitely wasn't a stupid girl at the time. So you always keep track of what you do and how you do it, right? Okay. Well, everybody in Washington, D.C., and pretty much most of the state capitol building knows that I'm one of the top money cats that they could possibly have. It's the honest to God truth, even without the Spanish. So everybody knows that I'm really like lickety split, you know, witty. Like this morning with the whole bill thing. When you're in a bankruptcy, you can't pay no more than $600, but it doesn't say you can't pay no more than 600 in one payment or multiple payments, so you can split it up if you have to obtain statements like I had to with Barclay. Is that a bad thing? No, you do what you have to do to get it, because I do state on there that some companies will actually lock you out of their website, so you can't obtain it, so you have to make the phone call to make the payment. So there's a lot of nitty-gritty stuff that goes on with it, and when it comes to me and numbers, no. So what really happened? Where did it really go downhill? It actually went downhill about 3 weeks after we had moved into 573 South Main Street in Attleboro, Massachusetts. And then it just kept snowballing and snowballing, and what I didn't have was somebody to be there to prevent the snowballing. And all these letters that these state governments are sending out are not helping whatsoever. Okay. There's a lot of misinterpretation. Like, for instance, a lot of people will get the Texas government letter, and then they'll start saying, well, that means anybody that doesn't do certain things like other people do, that means we get to go into their state and stuff like that. That's not the case. I'm not going through why that letter got sent out. I'm going to keep my word on that one, because even I got it. I even had it. But I only need to be remembered one time about it. So it is imperative that people not respond to this letter like a stupid idiot, like most people do. It does go out like an idiot. You wouldn't believe how many tutors actually screwed up reading this letter. It's verbatim spelled out, and it doesn't get any clearer than that. It's kind of funny. You almost need like English tutors to come in from another academy to come tutor them on this letter. But it just goes to show you how many teachers actually took AP Government and Law, and how much the population took AP Government and Law. AP Government and Law didn't start coming into colleges and high school. Actually, it was high school. Some people will retake it in college because they did so bad in it. It's not easy. Honest to God, it's not easy. I was kind of bitching. So I was at that point. I was bitching for like an A, a low grade A, instead of sitting on an A minus. And I know which case killed me. It was Roe versus Wade, but I'm the type of person that actually knows, versus the teacher who sat there trying to be sterile. So, you know, there are politicians that will try to make an example out of a case. So, you know. But yeah. There's still more to the Dianetics. The last time I remember, because there's a certain mask I put on, remember, I couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted, who I wanted. I knew we were going through it again. So we are going to keep going through it, but the more people do correct and push for 4 years, the more time we have to look at things. Like, we could possibly even go past, for some of us who got the Moderna really late, the second dose is due to us in May 8th. We can even push it past that. We could even end up in possibly October. Granted that Does that mean we get to wear masks and stuff? Yes, it does. It still means we have to wear masks in certain states. It still means states can go back to shutdown. This is the time where you can go bouncing back and forth, but the key thing is to keep people in state. So if you have your birth certificate and you belong in that state, you need to go back to that state and you need to stay there. For people moving from state to state trying to find paychecks, that's not what that's about. It's about you coming back home and trying to see if you can make do with what you have on resume. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't do that. So which means they either did one or two things. They did something stupid when they were growing up, or number two, they had that such bad reputation with their jobs. That wasn't me. No. no. But I came back. I mean, the only reason why I'm not going back to my jobs is because I made sure that all the way up to a certain point I was perfect, and then afterwards everybody got sick and tired of me and they wanted me out. So what's the point in going back? So we're going to see what happens tonight. I'm going to fill out all the paperwork submitted on for us for doing it in Michigan. We're e-filing on the Michigan court case website. And that's going to be taken care of, and then tomorrow I have to drop off the paperwork for the bankruptcy stuff. There is a part in the chapter about those individuals filing for bankruptcy based on divorce issues. In the event that they show consistent income 2 to 3 years out, if I remember correctly, the government can come back and ask them to help repay the debt back. It has to be in a nice manner, though, and from a different politician from another state. It can't be from the same state, especially if there's a certain accusation going on behind the divorce, which is what I'm doing right now, because I know I've recorded it, I've sat through it, and CP, which is California Psychic, never got audited for their business recordings or anything like that. So right now I can ask for anything at this point and hurt a lot of people, because that's not the whole point of this. We've gone through this so many times, this looping through. All people have to do is just stick to what they do best, and that's it. We're relying on way too many things called skills and not relying on whether or not you can do the job. It used to be like that when certain individuals were back in our world. It's not just the US, it's like South America, it's Japan, it's China, Eastern Europe, Prussia, I call it Prussia, that whole mess of it all, even Africa, everywhere. It's just not the US. Everybody needs to start breaking their glass frames and recognizing that there are more people than just us in the US, and there are other people out there. We're really forgetting this whole concept of a population, and it's listed in every social studies book when you go through contents and countries. Population is this and this and this. Hey, there's people in this country. Does that mean you're going to go there and go start living there? No. If they're there for that reason, they're there for that reason. No different than if you're here in the U.S., you're here for the U.S. All the migration and all that stuff, you don't want to get into it. But like I said, we're constantly looping through, and we're going to keep looping through. But the better we do looping through, I have to explain it because I'm going to get bitched out, because I was like listening to my session this morning, and I was like, you're an asshole. It's not that hard. The better we do, the more we expand in that looping. Okay? Expand, because it's eventually supposed to hit back to a point in time. We have to abide by that, otherwise we're going to have one hell of a lecture from Jimmy Carter. I don't think you want to see Jimmy Carter on TV. So, yeah.